Hello, community. I'm just reaching out with this video to say that last evening, something brought to my attention when I was listening to one of the leaders in the presentation of the comp plan and everything. They were saying that they're being they're being attacked by other leaders in other companies simply because they fear the attraction they're going to have for people coming over here into ShoppyShop. Now, I never had that problem because I never had millions of people under me as a builder, but I can see it being a problem with those who are really, really influential. And it's pretty sad because the traditional way of network marketing, that was something that the tactics that they use, because it's a different kind of energy that you have to have, build the team and have the influence over the team. ShoppyShop is going to be totally different, folks. In fact, it's not necessary to build that typical way. But the sad part is that people have the old mindset of these old companies. ShoppyShop is something that you could come in as a member and be very glad being a member. In fact, it's so good that some people, mostly people come in here because they want the membership aspect of it. You have the travel, you have the health and wellness, you have the app that when shopping that you save a lot of money. You also have something called like a wellness, and we're gonna have something like doc, like what do you call that? Those video doctors, like you could look in a video and the doctor could see their patients. You're gonna have that as well. That's one of the many things that are coming, and they're gonna add more and more into ShoppyShop with $10. So just that alone, I think the membership would outweigh the affiliate side of this company. So it's not the typical way of building. But something also came to mind when I was listening to the presentation. I often see an issue of people going to be scrambling, thinking that it's the same old MLM kind of nonsense that we've been used to before, and they will try and scramble for people to get into their teams. Now, that's not necessary here because, as I said, they don't have the typical levels. They don't have the power line that people are getting involved in for past 20 years. These power lines make you feel as though if you don't get in at a certain time, you're going to lose your position. And they don't have a matrix, for sure. They don't have the matrix here. That's kind of gimmicky and let people think that they could just come, get a position, and at the end of a certain amount of time, they will be able to get a full check, as far as just being a member. So that's not here at all with ShoppyShop. That's why it's so fresh and inviting, and people kind of understand it because it's never been done before. I just like the fact that people are very transparent as to what is being built. They're saying the things that they would not allow in initial unveiling of the company because of legal issues globally. So that's also great that they're taking that in consideration. They're not giving all that lip service that we're going to be global at day one. Yes, some companies may be global. For example, the travel is going to be in a lot of countries, but not all the pinnacles are going to be in all the countries. So I like the way they're thinking of this. Another thing I noticed too, that the CEO here, he was involved in companies that he was abroad, meaning that he lived outside of the US. I like that kind of vision because let me tell you, when you're outside of the US, it's a different world. And he was exposed to the Asian market, he was exposed to the Russian market. So that helps a lot in what he's building here at ShoppyShop. So another thing that was brought to my attention is that when we bring in people into ShoppyShop, whoever introduced you to the ShoppyShop, please go to that person. Don't try and think that you have to look for a big leader and go around them. I'll give you an example. Years ago, I got involved in a company, and a good buddy of mine, literally a good buddy, he came to my house and stayed in my house and so forth, but he lived in a different state. And he came and I said, listen, is it okay for me to go with this guy because he's right here local? He's a good builder. Now, this guy was filling my ear with how great he was as far as building teams and so forth, which was good. Yeah, that was in the past. But he had to build this new team. But this guy, I went with this guy, and it was the worst decision I made. He was a narcissist. He was very rude, very condescending, and very full of himself. So it hurt me when I did that to my friend because he was the one who introduced me to the company. So that was the old school way of doing business, as I said, which people think that you could build, but in the long run, it could hurt you. Please go with someone who introduced you to this. In fact, another person showed me something a couple months ago, and I said, listen, I'm not really interested in this particular program you're showing me. However, if I do get involved, I would definitely go with you. And that's how I treat all my businesses now. Whoever first exposed me to it, yeah, you can see all the social media posts and people talking about it, but that person who actually takes the time and say, listen, could you look at this? I say yes or no when I look at it. And then I could say, listen, if I do get involved, I will get involved with you because you're the first person that took the time that reached out to me and share your link. So ShoppyShop, I like you all. If you're in my group and somebody else showed you ShoppyShop, please go to that person. And I think that the way you do little things is the way you do big things. So just have that mindset of you don't have to be here with a big builder. You could come in this space and just share with 2 or 3 friends, and you could do a lot of damage. Trust me with just that, because word of mouth is the strongest. Still to this day, is the strongest way of promoting anything. I don't care what people say about having different kinds of when you're buying leads and when you're having systems and all that stuff. That's all garbage. That typical one-on-one kind of issue of building is better than anything till this day. And I see the big leaders do it. I mean, the good ones now. I'm not talking about the ones that just had the gift of gab. The ones that really care about their teams, they go one-on-one and build. So thank you so much. Let me know what you think of these comments I mentioned. Put it in the comments below. Also give this video a like, and also subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be full force into ShoppyShop. I think it's going to be a very, very good company for years to come, because the foundation is being built on solid ground. Okay, so thank you and have a good one. Peace.